Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We already have in the studio our guest today, who is the person of Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress and the convener of the Take It Back movement. Sir, you're welcome to the program today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chidi. It's good to be back on your show after a long time. Uh, we were even supposed to do a show together when I was in Canada for your wedding anniversary, but it was a very tense moment in Nigeria, and we could even barely partake in a wedding. So sorry about that. It's
Sure.
good to be back, and I want to wish you happy wedding anniversary. I joined your club also recently, as you're aware. In September, did my 20th, so it's good to feel it.
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations to you too. It's kind of funny that you actually, I'm going ahead of myself because I know a lot of people seem to forget that even with all the activism and all the revolutionary moves that you make, and with all that, that you still have a family, you have things, people that you're responsible for, you have tons and tons of family responsibilities and other things. You have your business to also look after. People just think every day is all about activism, and they tend to forget that you're just a human being like any other person with basic needs, and you're someone who likes to sit down under the fan, remove your shirt, roll up your sleeves, and enjoy fufu and lick the soup running down your fingers. Yeah, people just forget that this is just an ordinary human being. But it's good to know that you are, and that you celebrate your wedding anniversary also, and you take family very seriously. But you see, with the state of the nation, we touch those things briefly and we jump back to the issue on the ground. You were recently arrested, and let's talk about that. What exactly happened?
Well, I was detained. That's the best way to put it. At the Muritala International Airport in Lagos on Sunday morning when I arrived from the US to Nigeria. And they took my passport when I got to the immigration. And as usual, I typed whatever they typed into it and said to me that the passport cannot be given back to me because some notations on my record that says that my passport has to be confiscated until they get a clarification from Abuja. So they started walking around and making phone calls. Meanwhile, I just sat gently beside them. And after a while, I went back to them. I said, "Please, can I have my passport back, or is there any explanation for this?" And they said, "Well, we're still trying to figure out what's going on from Abuja. But do you have any waivers to let you into the country?" And I said, "I've never heard of waivers before." He said, "Well, you need a waiver, and if you don't have it, we would have to get the clearance from Abuja." So after sitting for a while, I turned on my phone and tweeted about my experience. And after the tweet, they asked me to step inside their office, where I sat all by myself, provided a big bottle of water, and said they're still checking with Abuja uh, why my name was put on the system as somebody who has to be stopped from entering the country. So while I was waiting, they rushed in again and said, "We're done." So two persons, DSS officials, then followed me to go get my bags. So we got to the carousel where my bag was. Of course, everybody had left, and then one of the biggest bag was missing. So it was while the bags were missing, we were searching for the bag that I heard the noise and commotion outside of taking back members who had been waiting for me to come out and had received the news that I was detained. And it was quite a protest outside. So I quickly tested to them that I've been released. I'll be finding my way back. I'll be finding my way to them, but I'm looking for my bag. And when I got out, as you can see, it was joy. It's commotion of joy. And we united, briefly hugged, met with our leaders on ground, our colleagues, and our comrades. And I went back to write the complaint about my missing bag, and we left to go out to where I was staying for that night. So that was my story on that day, Sunday.
Well, yes, yes. Why didn't you drink the water they brought for you?
Well, I think they need the water more than I do. So uh,
You didn't tell me you didn't
I,
drink. You didn't tell me you didn't drink the water, but I know by default what the answer would
well,
be.
I told them, I said, where I come from, which is the Niger Delta region, we don't drink water. And they said, what do you drink? I said, what they call Jebeleje. So I was, what's Jebeleje? I said, Ogogoro. I said, we don't have that one here. So next time.
This is supposed to be very, very serious, a very, very serious interview. So I will try to keep it very, very serious. We'll try to conduct ourselves
No,
like very,
life is
very
serious enough.
yes.
It's tense enough. Sometimes you just have to take it easy. Step back and
Because
just take one day at a
I'll try.
time. Sometimes cry, laugh. But we don't. I mean, we have a duty to live a full life, even in the most difficult conditions in the world.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. You're right. I said that because people will always find something to say about what you do, what we do. So you just try to to make them feel good. Now, um, without being told, you're really a very stubborn guy, very, very stubborn guy. To your friends, to your colleagues. Someone texts me and said, "Did you hear that show is coming back? I didn't even tell me. He didn't tell anybody." I said, "He didn't tell me." Oh, he said, "So what do we do?" I say, you know better than me to just leave it as it is. The boy, he knew they were going to arrest him. He knew they said he knew. So, for the benefit of those people who fall into that category, let me ask you, why on earth, knowing that they already put out your name there, that you'll be arrested anytime they see you, and that you were on the no-fly list, why did you just pack your bag and start heading back to the same place, to the same people who have shown you hell on earth? Why did you do that?
Well, I have never ever seen myself as someone who should run away from a problem, because running away from a problem doesn't solve the problem. And all of us live in very interesting times now, globally even. But you look at it, even in these interesting times, the solutions that have made life easy uh, were designed by people under difficult circumstances. We can fly from New York to Lagos now very fast and very convenient, air bubbles known as airplanes. But you can imagine the first guys who tried to fly across the ocean. They probably fell into the middle of the ocean. Some other guys picked it up from there. They redesigned it. Found out why did it fall. They checked it and say, how much air power do you need in the engine? I mean, horsepower do you need in an engine so that it doesn't come down. And here today we're flying. People took risk. Even the countries that were saying, "Oh, why did you leave the place?" Imagine how many black people have to be killed in the US alone, have to be jailed so that you and I can even be given a granted a visa to go to North America to live. You can imagine if all those people said, "Oh, let's just run away from the racist people, from the bigots, from the murderers," we wouldn't be speaking today on this platform. We wouldn't be here. We would all be trapped here. But even slaves who were forced into slavery, some of them had to fight their captors on the high seas and say to them, I would rather die than go and serve your grandfathers or your children for the rest of my life. So people must understand these circumstances that some of us, a lot of us, must start thinking sacrifice. You know, the question I'm sure you ask next is how much sacrifice is too much, considering that it's in some cases like this one, you actually knew that they're looking for you. But you know what? The Yorubas have an adage, and I'll try and say it in English. And it says that if a masquerade is pursuing you, keep running because just as you get tired, the masquerade gets tired too. Most importantly, the masquerade is actually likely to get tired before you because it's carrying a load on his head. So, and guess what? The reason why Nigeria is the way it is today is because everybody keeps running away from the problem. You know, I couldn't tell a lot of my friends, as you are aware, that I'm coming to Nigeria because some of them would disown me immediately. Like, why would you want to go to Nigeria? Are you crazy? Okay, I don't want to talk to you again. I think you just want to, I think you do this on purpose. But I had already planned to come to Nigeria before now for a trial. So, but I was aware that in coming, I was going to have to deal with the authorities here. But I decided that I will do it. And that's why I came. And I'm here. And just so that you know, the fact that they they took a step back on something doesn't mean they won't try something stupid again. Because it's in their character to do stupid things, foolish things. And so tonight, they might come to where I am and raid the place and get me arrested. Um, when carrying my bags, I don't know what the plan was. Although eventually I recovered my bag back, and the person left to know that he or she accidentally took my bag. But if you look at the bag that belonged to the person and my bag, they have no similarities. Mine was black, the bag was blue, and it was not the same make or the same model. So how such a mistake was made, it's not something I'm guessing. I'm not in any way accusing this person because they left me a nice note that you know this was a this was a honest mistake. But a flight that had over 300 people. It was a full flight. It was a big plane. It was 787-900 that flew us full.
Mm.
For some, from the only bag to get missing was mine. It was taken by someone else. So you start thinking, why me? But that was how I was in secondary school and primary school. Teachers always picking on me, including university. So I stopped asking why me a long time ago. But to just let people understand, and I think this is talking generally now for a lot of us who feel like we'll get into trouble by doing what is right. I think most of the time, more people need to be in a position where they're not afraid of anything, especially when they've done nothing wrong. The sad thing about Nigeria is people who are doing what is wrong are the ones who are bold. The ones who are doing what is
Mm.
right are the ones who are afraid. That's so
Mm.
sad. Yes. And those ones, the majority who are afraid, want a few people who are not afraid to be afraid too. And the people who are doing bad
Mm.
also want you to be afraid. So until we strike the balance and saying, even if you are not bold, support bold ideas, support people with conscience. Don't tell them, oh my goodness, why would you go? I don't want to talk to you again. Why are you doing this and all that? Think of it. What if you have nowhere to go? You know, and I have said it a lot recently. If America falls in the hands of the right wing politician that's trying to be president now, Europe will follow suit. And they are going to target blacks without reservation. So maybe it's a good time for everybody to start building a shack back here to run back to. Build your own country
You know, you
so that
know,
you can.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
so
know what,
so that
sure.
you can have a
In
place to
another
come back
interview,
to,
in a,
And I'm saying, I know a lot of people might look at it and say, I just sold my house and everything and left. What are you talking about? This guy's mad. Yeah, but it could happen. But I'm not scaring anybody. I'm not scaring anybody, but I'm just saying, even if you live in the best places in the world, there's nothing like home. And at any rate, we care about people who are not even from our own countries. Why can't we care about our own home country or homeland? Because people keep reminding me that this one is not a country or it's not a nation. It's a country. It's a country at the United Nations, but maybe it's not a nation because things don't work here for good.
sure, we it keeps cutting. The network keeps cutting in and off, but we can hear most of it. But sometimes it gets
Can
cut.
you hear me now?
Um, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, yeah. You were talking about home and coming back home. It beats my imagination because I heard you talking in another interview that you don't have to explain to anybody why you need to come home anytime you want to come home. And I
Yes.
wanted to put it into perspective what this government is actually doing because it's getting to a point whereby it's like in a person's house, the kids are now afraid of coming to their house, and the servant in the house, is the one who takes ownership of the house, who stays comfortably, just sit down, balance for the whole house. And the kids are now told they can't even come to their father's house. Can you put it into perspective so people understand the concept of scaring you out of coming back home?
Well, you see, when they do this to some of us, people like me, it is not for me alone. They're doing it to send a big scare to everybody who might have even innocently written a comment on the internet. I don't know how many people have contacted me after I posted the DSS memo, leaked memo that said I should be upgraded. And they were asking, Sowore, can I come home? Because me, I wrote something in support of you on Facebook. I wrote something for you on Instagram, and I'm in Germany. These people are going to wait for me. And I said, look, this is exactly what they're trying to do, is to create that atmosphere of fear so that you start on your own, start censoring yourself because of what they did to Shore. And that's what exactly they're doing. And I had that conversation with a friend of mine today that the way Nigeria is governed has led to the migration of the middle class. And the people in the middle class are the people that are the most difficult to govern because they ask questions, they're educated, they're smart. But all of them now are leaving. So that buffer that used to be between those in power and the masses that they hate so much but pretend to love with rice and bullets, it's not there anymore. If the middle class leaves, that's bankers, teachers, and all these guys that are doing Japan now, Nigeria will become a perfect kingdom perfect animal kingdom because there will be only two classes of people. The 70,000 people who are within the political class, rich, powerful, and highly connected are friends. And the 199 point something million people that Blackwater calls 200 mumus, they will
Mm.
ride roughshod over them. So they're happy that people are leaving. The only thing they are not happy is that the people have not left internet alone. So they are still using internet to disturb them. So the only problem with the people who have left is social media. These guys just wake up and just bash us every day. But that's not the problem for them because your social media can be locked down anytime. And Facebook is helping them
Mm-hmm.
doing a great job. They put you in Facebook jail. After a while, you start
Mm.
thinking, should I even write anything against the government because I'm going to go back into jail? Can I respond to comments and all that? Twitter will keep doing
That's
that
right.
because, you know, the social media regulation now is crazy. And I've always
So
said it,
much.
yes, I've always said it that social media leaders or owners are going to become the new colonial leaders of the world. They will govern
Mm.
everybody, whether with or without their consent. And that's where we are. So, and
Yeah, it's happening.
social media is going to move more and more towards governments because that is going to be the people who can keep them in business. They're not out to save the world, they want to make money. Anybody standing in the way, they'll make compromises. Facebook is already doing
Sure.
that with the US government. There are things you can't post on Facebook, they will automatically remove it. They have friends that you can write in support of and people you cannot write in support of. If you write in support of Israel, Facebook will love you. If you write in support of Gaza, they'll ban you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I see
So
that. I see
that's
that.
where
Yeah.
we are in the world. So anybody who also thinks that you are a social media king, you must understand that after a while that also will leave you. So we are left with one option: taking the risk to come and confront our oppressors on the ground.
Thank
And
you.
those who cannot do it
Um,
should support those on the ground so that that number can multiply enough to have solid resistance across the country of Nigeria. That's why I come back,
talking about.
regardless. Like I said
Mm.
on a TV show, I don't owe them any explanation. Even if I want to come and pee at home, that's my problem, you know? So it's my if I can wake up and say, look, I must get to Nigeria before I pee, that's my problem. I'll get to Lagos, I do it. And I can get on the plane and go back after that. That's my problem. And it's not the government has no right whatsoever. They cannot dash me like fella say, you can't dash me my human rights. Human rights are my property. You know, you
Because me,
can't
I
dash me my
know, I
human
know
rights.
very well. I know very well that the bathroom in a place like New York and the way you do your things inside the bathroom in New York is totally,
It's
definitely different
overregulated.
from the way you do it in Kiribo.
Overregulated.
In Kiribo, it's so different.
In
It's
Kibo, you just face the river and that's it. That's it. You don't
so
want to go there.
so you could just let's just leave it.
Yes.
It's another interview.
It's a conversation for another interview. Yes.
For another day. Okay, okay. Now let's look at NSAS. I mean not NSAS. The end bad government, bad
Yes. And
governance.
bad
It
governance.
was
Yes.
after after the end bad governance protest that they issued that warrant or issued that memo that wherever they see you, they should barb you, they should do this, they threaten heaven and earth. Um,
When we looked
Tell
at the
us
memo
about.
again, they even said that
Mhm.
anybody accompanying me must be carried. Like everything around me at that time. So if you happen to be next to me and you're just greeting me, welcome to Nigeria, we're on the same flight.
They-
Now for station, you go explain why you did greet Sowore.
Mad people. So let's talk about end bad governance because when you were tweeting about it, when you were talking about it, a lot of people, it was just like now a period where people felt, why is this guy looking for trouble again? Why would he not rest? And then the government boldly said it will not happen, but it eventually happened. So for purposes of clarity, because a lot of people just saw protests, they don't know what happened, they don't know how it came to be. Just briefly summarize for us how end bad governance with the days of rage, how it came to be, and what happened that time.
Well, you know that since 2019, we had the Revolution Now revolt in Nigeria in 2019.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
ever since then, I mean, I was arrested, detained, restricted to Abuja, and those terrible things happened to me. But ever since then, every year, we had done an event to symbolically mark the August 5 Revolution Now revolt in
Mhm.
Nigeria, regardless of what happened to us. And we will have a rally every year. We will have a protest march. So when we were discussing this time around about August 5, 2024, which was the fifth anniversary of Revolution Now, it came to our attention
Mhm.
that there was mass discontent in the country and that
Mhm.
people are looking for ways to express themselves and to protest and to revolt. And I
Mhm.
would admit that what was happening in Kenya gave a lot of ginger to that feeling and thought. And we started exploring and discussing with people across the country, both those who were on our movement and collaborators. And we found that most Nigerians wanted to engage in protest, mass protest, but they didn't know or have the kind of central coordination that could make it happen. So we decided to expand Revolution Now anniversary to start from August 1st until August 10th, after consultation with several groups in the north, in the south. We even discussed with people in the southeast, but the southeast leadership there quickly said no, they don't want to partake in anything because whenever this happens, well, they're fighting their own battle already. They're already going on strike every Monday. We stay at home, and they didn't want to just be corralled into a protest that they will be blamed for and all that. So come August 1st, before August 1st, of course, the government thought it was a joke at first. And when they realized it was serious, they started bribing religious leaders, particularly from the north and traditional rulers across the country. They're calling them to meetings and giving them money. And at the end, a lot of people just got more upset. So as we kept pushing for this, they also, the government also came out using all kinds of tactics that got more people upset. You remember that they sent Asari Dokubo to Port Harcourt to do a press conference and said nothing will happen in the South South. They had Oro Festival in Lagos. All these jobless Oro people were hired to be walking around naked and telling people not to come out. They had mobilizations done of police. They had judges issue orders that we cannot gather in certain places. So they did not expect, and I must tell you this, that August 1 will take place. But lo and behold, on the D Day, guess where I was headed to? Canada. And I was going to your anniversary. And when I was about to enter the plane before we got called, I got information from Nigeria that it has started. I almost didn't come to Canada. I'm telling you for the first time now. I wanted to turn back. I said, this 1 hour flight that I'm going to do, if I'm not available to be talking and conversing with people, something bad might happen to the momentum that was gathering on the ground. But with the advent of technology, uh, as soon as we took off 5 minutes, I was able to log back onto the internet, and I was on Twitter, I was on my WhatsApp. When they brought, when the flight attendants were going around asking, what do you want? They had to ask me like 5 times, sir, what do you want? I'm like, I don't want anything. I wanted to tell them, like, can we divert these flights to Abuja? But they won't have enough fuel to take me. So, and Toronto wasn't far from Newark where I took. I was about an hour. We landed, and I reconnected with Nigeria as soon as we landed, and it was massive. I couldn't believe how big it was, especially the moment they kicked off in Abuja. And I have to give serious props to our guys in Abuja who made it happen. And the moment they heard that it has happened in Abuja, everybody just kicked off wherever they were, and it was massive. And it was massive, big, to the point that when eventually I went to your event, I couldn't dance. I could also barely eat. Uh, I like I said, like, I want to keep apologizing to you that I brought my problem over to Canada
No,
to you. But you did
no.
a fantastic job introducing. You also abandoned your wedding and you started talking about revolution now. Good news is that your wife, your children, they're all revolution now people. So it was perfect.
Remember,
But
we had our own protest outside the city hall
yes,
on
we
that
had that,
very
but
day.
we decided not to upload it because we didn't want it to stand in. We didn't want it to people who came to your wedding to be scared
Sure,
and not.
sure, 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 sure.
But we did. We went to City Hall and we stood outside and we had a small protest there. And we wanted to have another one the second day, but just planning was a hassle because of the
Yeah.
conflict with your event. So, but it was massive, and it was one of the biggest in the country. But beyond that, it had the widest spread in terms of you know mass protest in Nigeria, the widest.
Just like several times in the past, when you've been very active. I don't know back when, and then we came to NSAS. NSAS happened the way it happened, and the government uses agents and so many mischief makers to write the wrong narrative. I believe by the time, end bad governance was another opportunity for people to see who you are and how actively involved you are with protests, because it was very clear. It was very clear to everybody. Your hand was written all over the place. The Take It Back movement, I must really commend our boys in the Take It Back movement. They are some,
And
they are,
ladies too. Don't forget that. In fact, the person who was the leader of the Take It Back movement, who is our leader of the Take It Back movement, is female. And she did not
yes,
sleep for those 10 days. I can tell you that.
yes,
Uh, she did
yes.
not. She organized meeting every hour. She was in touch with everybody. She was mobilizing, organizing. She was uh, consoling people and motivating people, and where necessary, ginger. So yes, it was not a boys' affair. It was
No,
this time
no.
around.
Just
It
for the
was a
record,
female
no,
warrior.
just for the
I'm
record,
just. I know. I know.
when I say guys, I mean our comrades. We all
Yes.
see ourselves as one. So I really
One.
commend
Absolutely.
the efforts of the
Yeah.
comrades in Nigeria. And one very remarkable thing is this: whereas people or the government like to believe that, oh, you are around instigating the demonstration, the protests and all that. In this case, you were not even around, you were not in the country, and
Yes.
this still happened. So what does that tell us? Describe what
I
that
think
means.
it's just for us to be proud of the kind of colleagues we have, guys who demand nothing from anybody but the best for everybody in the take it back movement. These guys are Teflons. They will never melt, even under heat. And they've always said to me, I remember in my last 5 years, we were with a lot of them, that one day they will do the world proud, not us now. They will do the world proud of how much it means that we have been around building a social movement platform that can essentially take on oppression the way it has never been confronted before. And I must tell you that even though people write all kinds of narratives about who we are, the thing I'm proud of our team members about or for is that they are not trying to claim credit. They are not interested. You know, these are not guys who want to show off, who want to tell you that this or that. They just want things to work. And sometimes they do it in such a way that they're so unassuming. People, it's easy for people to say, no, no, we're the ones who did it. And like I said, and I've said it repeatedly outside, since the August movement came and went the way it went successfully, that one thing I was proving to everybody is that celebrities are great, but you don't need celebrities to fight your battles for you. And the August movement did not have one single celebrity endorsement that I know of. And I
That's
think
right.
it was a
That's right.
speech delivered by David Chappelle uh, about the Black Lives Matter during the Black Lives Matter fight. He delivered a speech somewhere. He said, the reason I'm proud of the Black Lives Matter is that it's not driven by politics. It's driven by humanity. And
Okay, we have a little issue with Omoyole Shore's connection. I'm hoping he's able to reconnect with us. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can leave it you can leave it with the chat, and we will pick it up and we'll make sure that he has the question. Okay. But when he comes back, we have a lot of questions that we're gonna ask him for the brief time that he would be willing to spend with us. But please do me a favor, share this video right now so that a lot of people know that it's going to come on. But because we advertised it, when it gets to the time, a lot of people don't know that it's time to turn onto the program. And by the way, social media is changed these days. They may not promote the program, they will not share it, they will not publicize it. So help us and share the video. And while we wait for him to rejoin us, it is very, very important that we are having to speak with him today so that we are able to know some of the facts, some of the truths in the stories that you hear flying back and forth about people like Omoyele Shore, the stories that you hear that is concocted by the government, concocted by those people that we regard as our enemies. When they concoct these stories, because it's not real, obviously, it goes out there and it sends the wrong signal, it spreads the wrong narrative. But this is exactly what they want to do. So it helps them to achieve their aim. But if we're able to get to hear from the horse's mouth, as it were, we'll be able to separate the truth from the chaff, and we'll be able to make an informed decisions we'll be able to make informed decisions for ourselves concerning state of affairs in the country, what steps to take to make sure that nobody is trampling on our fundamental human rights, and ways that we can resist any attempt by the government to steal what is our common interest. Whatever belongs to us as a community, a communal property. I also lost my my internet there, and let me try and switch over my internet too and make sure that it's not coming from this one. Yep, but everything is cool on this side. Um, Moel Shore is not back. We're still gonna wait for him to rejoin us. But please, like I said before, help us to spread this video. Help us to share it so we can have people know what is going on. When they told him that he shouldn't show up, nobody expected him to show up. I didn't expect him to show up, but I know if you've known Sowore through the years, you know that there are several things in his life that you cannot stop him from doing. He listens to you, he loves criticisms, he loves when you come up with a superior argument. He will always yield. But there are lines that he has established. There are lines that he clearly establishes, whether you be his friend, whether you be his family or his colleague, there are lines, and these lines he respects them because he says these are principles upon which I have built my life, and they have never failed me. And times after another, he has come to prove it. So if you're close to him, you come to respect him when he says, you know what, I am going to do this. And he goes ahead and does it. I'm gonna go see some of your text messages, your comments. TKS Ministries, hello back to you. Swaz TV, welcome back. The great comrade, thank you, Swaz TV. Strict News Media, welcome back, Shore. Yes, I see you. Tony Brown says Nigeria is like a blown up balloon used by the West to checkmate other African countries, but not allowed to be big enough to check the West. British, France, and USA. Yes, Tony, I hear you. Tony also says that the more you keep talking about Nigeria and presidency, the more you will not succeed. You still don't understand the monster holding down your Nigeria. The West is number one. So he doesn't want us to talk about Nigeria because he feels the more you talk about Nigeria, the more you will not progress. Moses Derinde, Ayorinde says, the courageous, bold Shore. Thank you. Ese Piero says, the greatest man of our time. Thank you also. Mado Nelson says, Dr. Chidi, please ask Mr. Shore, minus him in the picture, who can he recommend to be Nigeria president? I can tell you that if you ask Shore about Nigeria presidency now, he will tell you that he's not even thinking about Nigeria presidency. He is more concerned about the people who are hungry right now. Because thinking about Nigerian presidency with the system we have right now, it's a waste of time. He has said it time without numbers that the system we have right now is not capable of conducting a credible election. He has also said that the elections that were organized in the past, they were not elections, they were just selections. So you can't be talking about the election when you know that the results have already been written. You can predict what the results will be. So it's like a waste of time. Now, who says Tony Brown? Oh, this is you again, Tony Brown. Says, please, anybody knows where Abdul Salam Abubakar, the Fulani man that gave us the fraudulent 1999 constitution, is? He has gone into hiding. Soon he will appear from his aunt as a statesman. When you talk about people who go and hide and appear after a while, you think about you use that to just like Omoyele Sowore and the way he operates. Omoyele Sowore is about the only presidential candidate that in Nigeria, after any election cycle, whether he wins or he doesn't win, he stays there to become the opposition that makes democracy strive in any nation. The problem with Nigeria is that the opposition does no longer become the opposition. The opposition plays a role that is not the kind of role you would expect them to play. I have our guests back in the studio. Welcome back.
Thank you. Nigeria problem of network.
Nigeria,
So
Nigeria happened to you.
all the time. It happens to me all the time. My default mode is Nigeria happening to me all the time. So but let's take it away. Yeah.
Sure. So, anyways, now we're done with NBAD governance, both to the naysayers and the people who did the doubting Thomases. They saw that it came and it worked out. It happened. I'm going to talk about fearless in October because most of the things we're talking about is about you actually being fearless, you not allowing anybody to, and what you're doing, you're not trying to prove a point really. You just don't want anybody, according to you, to mess up with your fundamental human rights. And one of those is the right to protest. It is guaranteed. You're not begging anybody. So that's why, according to you, you've always stood your ground and organized protests, even when the government says we're going to clamp you down. We're not going to let you do it. So, in the same vein, you're already calling for another protest. You're calling for another protest just after your ordeal with the one that you did. And this protest is going to be called Fearless in October. And it's starting from 1st of October to when? What is this protest all about? How is it going to take shape? Why, as a lot of people will ask, why are you giving so much information about where the protest will happen, how it will happen, what are your demands? Some people think you're letting out too much. You should just keep it as a secret. So tell us when this next protest is happening, how it is planned, and how it will benefit our country.
Well, I'm very clear. We have been clear about this particular protest. It wasn't because of my ordeal. The protest had been planned as soon as the end bad governance protest ended. And we've been talking
Mhm.
about it. The demands that we have added the release of all the people who were detained and are under trial for false charges. For those charges to be dropped, for the Inspector General of Police who that protest to be removed, and for the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, to also be removed. But otherwise, the 15 demands, we start from the Constitution to release Nnamdi Kanu, minimum wage, reform, I mean, not reform, but, clean up the judiciary, remove one of the legs of the bicameral legislative system. You know all of them. Those ones are still in place. And because these issues have not been addressed, that is why another protest will take place in October. October 1, which is meant to coincide with Nigeria's Independence Day. So it's going to be an interesting day.
Okay. Let me come in. Uh, Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. We're here. All right. Comrade Shore, we've talked about fearless in October. You did end bad governance. They said they're going to arrest you. They're going to do all kinds of things. I think by your coming back, you're actually setting the pace to show that yes, fearless in October is actually going to happen because what you just did looks like a rehearsal. This is fearless in September. And that's what people think you did. You think you did, even though you're not doing it to show off, but everybody just thinks you are very fearless. Now, quickly tell us, we are in a because you keep inventing these names. You say we're in a state of in the country revolutionary confusion. I've heard you say that, but people can't even make sense of what is going on in Nigeria. People are just tired. People are just tired. They're even tired of being tired. Paint
Mm.
a picture for us. Paint a picture for us of the state of Nigeria. Where are we now? What is going on? There's too much. They're talking about Dangote here, this one there, people buying cars, senators. What is going on? President traveling to. What is really going on in Nigeria? Where are we?
You know, each time you come out from outside of Nigeria to Nigeria, it's unbelievable. Sometimes I just feel like the people here no longer live. Yes, they are breathing because you can feel them breathing heavily under the yoke of all kinds of problems, but they don't live life. I'm sorry to say. Everybody's just like, even people are described as tired because they want to rest, they want to stop. But the kind of tiredness is the one that you are tired, but you are deprived of rest. So it's like the system is dragging you on the floor. The system is using you to mop the floor across the streets of Nigeria. And when I said it, that time that there was period of revolutionary confusion, it was because I knew that the time will come that Nigerians will be so confused that even what is wrong, they will think is right. They will make political choices that will put them in even dire straits because they will defend it. That's what I meant. But all these problems we are facing now, we could have solved it since 2019 when they had a chance to have done a revolutionary election. So, but they opted not to do it. And then they went for Buhari second term. Then they went for Tinubu after Buhari. The ones that didn't go for Tinubu said they found other messiahs. It's crazy. And all this thing you're saying about Dangote for is all distraction. The thing I realized about the government in Nigeria, we don't have a real government, but they are very good at designing scripts to distract Nigerians. It's like 1 week, one script, 1 week, one distraction. If you can imagine a government that has 4 refineries that are not working, claim that they are repairing two of it, is at advanced stage, they are going to. They did not even go near their refinery. I'm not talking about it. They now help him Dangote, a private refiner, to load fuel at his depot. And they're all happy. Hey, please, we are selling Dangote fuel. Can you come and buy? We're just trying to fix the price. We're working on the pricing. We don't know. Dangote says, no, 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 I want to sell for cheaper. The government is the one. And then the government says, okay, if you want to sell for cheaper, then Dangote says, no, 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 fix the price. Don't worry. Yeah, our refinery now. But since they have been loading this Dangote petrol, nobody has seen the petrol. Nobody has. I've not met anybody who has bought Dangote's petrol. None. So you're just wondering. I just think they understand that Nigerians are very easily, excited, and they just keep. It's just like when you go to a child, and the child is crying, and then you start tickling them, and they jump from crying to laughing hysterically. They know where to poke,
And they tell
and then
and they
people,
and
yes,
they tell them you buy plane for them. You tell them you buy
yes,
aeroplane, and then
yes. And so the president can buy plane. I said, no, it's not my plane. No, it's your own. I bought it for you. So if any one of you want to fly, let me know. I will fly the plane into your house so that it will crash your house. So it's very sad, but I don't think philosophers or sociologists can describe Nigeria. It's, it defies definition, prognosis, diagnosis, and psychoanalysis. This country.
Because you know why I'm asking you. I You have not even helped me at all. I thought through you I'll be able to understand where we are, but I see that Nigeria defies any explanation. What is going on in
Yes.
Nigeria? It really defies. I'm telling you. I
Yes.
thought you would know. You know, you have been interviewing since you came back. You did about 4 interviews yesterday. I know in Nigeria it's a very hectic time. I really wanted an opportunity for our people to see you, to be able to talk one on one with you in our own language, just being ourselves. So I really, really thank you for taking our time to come and talk with us. I'll just ask you one or two questions and let you be, because I know you have so many, even just sitting down and thinking about every minute of what to do with Nigeria is work on itself. But
Mm.
I'm going to ask you this. A lot of people have said, why did you include Nnamdi Kanu in one of the demands for the it was in end bad governance. Most of the demands in end bad governance, the government did not even pay any attention to them. But just by way of curiosity, people keep saying, "Why do you put Nnamdi Kanu there? What does it have to do with end bad governance?"
Well, I understand Nigeria's problem more than most people do. Honestly, I understand Nigeria's problem because I understand why the problem of Nigeria persists. But the leaders don't know it, or they know it but they don't care. And I've come to a conclusion in recent times that I think Nigeria government allow problems to
We'll be back with Shore again for a few more minutes before he he finally leaves us because of this internet issue. But I think he's back. I'm going to bring him back.
I'm back. So the
Yeah,
internet is pretty spotty here. So I think Nigerian leaders
it's okay.
they deliberately allow problems to fester or create problem where there is none, so that they can shrink the space that needs to be governed. You understand? If you go to Maiduguri now,
Yeah.
they only have Maiduguri left. The rest of Borno is in the hands of Boko Haram. And then they allow dam to break, so that even the Maiduguri that was left, water just came and carried everybody. So nobody is going to ask them to go over Maiduguri anymore. You go to the southeast, people have complaints there. And instead of you addressing the issue, instead of you building them roads, you send Operation Python Dance, Operation Lick Them Dry, Operation this, Operation that. Now, the East is slipping away. You know, you cannot you cannot have a school in the East that sings Nigerian national anthem anymore. You cannot host the Nigerian
Oh,
flag
yeah.
anywhere in the East anymore. Yeah. The radio Biafra that they are worried about that made them to go and kidnap Kanu is the only radio that people listen to. In fact, even FM stations that are typically supposed to discuss all that things are forced to discuss the issues relating to Biafra. The Southeast goes on strike every Monday consistently now. So I think also because of their hatred for governance, they are happy that the Southeast is ungovernable. So because it shrinks the govern the space to be governed, and then they can steal.
Yeah.
And still. So otherwise, there's no reason to have arrested Nnamdi Kanu. Even their judges said it that this is not okay, even if it's tongue in cheek, and that this issue, this guy should be released. So you have kept him in prison for how long now? Engaged in these dramatic trials that is bleeding Nigeria. Has this solved the problem? Why? Because the moment you took out a Kano, you create 20. The moment you take out one radio Biafra, you create community radios. So,
Mm-hmm.
and in the midst of it, you allow banditry to fester, you allow Boko Haram commanders to be de-radicalized and absorbed into the Nigerian army. But you said somebody who is saying preaching peace is your enemy. And I had to explain this to one northern brother who called me on the radio show yesterday that that is the only problem. Oh, I said, if Kano is your problem, why don't you have a problem with the radicalized Boko Haram people that are in the army? Why don't you have a problem with your
Mm-hmm.
governors who are giving bandits cars, money to kill your brothers and sisters, ordinary farmers? Why don't you have a problem with Nigerian leaders who are defrauding the country to the point that even you yourself cannot eat? But Nnamdi Kanu is your problem because why? Honestly, because it's Igbo. And we've been taught to hate Igbos. They are our enemies. They are the ones who are they are too domineering. But then but you kill them during the Civil War. And they were nice enough to say, no, we don't want to be killed anymore. Can you let us go? Even in marriages that are bad or good, people can separate. And if you don't want to separate, Nnamdi Kanu said, call for a referendum. And I've said it is not because I'm friends with him, but I know that Nnamdi Kanu has never shot a gun before. I don't think that guy can kill a chicken. Yes.
Yeah.
But he has his convictions. Wherever the Southeastern struggle went this way, it was the Nigerian government that pointed them in that direction. And I think that's what they wanted. They want a full-blown armed conflict so that they can keep killing and reduce the space to be governed and spend their money on, you know, nonsense, Nigeria's money. In the midst of it, if you go to the Southeast, it's part of our demands, not only release Nnamdi Kanu, but that you demilitarize the East. Because every kilometer in the East, there's a military checkpoint. Meanwhile, Katsina, that has bandits, the governor came out and said in the whole 2 or 3 local government, there are only 36 policemen and only 5 guns are working.
Oh my God. Can you
Yes.
imagine?
So why are you not
Can you?
interested in putting military checkpoints in Katsina where there's full-blown banditry? But all the military guys are happy to be killing and raping and destroying villages of Igbo people, the southeasterners of Nigeria. And if we just have a little conversation with Nnamdi Kanu, release him, all that will disappear. He even said, he promised in court, he said, give me 2 minutes. This will be over. What else do you want from him? He spoke to the judge. He spoke to the media. He condemned the violence going on. He said, give me 2 minutes. Just let me go back and resolve this. I want peace. Nnamdi Kanu is the #1 person calling for peace in the Southeast. It's the federal government that is calling for war in the Southeast. So you tell me who should be in detention? The man calling for peace or the man calling for war? But a lot of people have been conditioned to just repeat the propaganda of government. And I tell you, it is true when we put in Nnamdi Kanu, we got. It will shock you that it's not even Northerners alone that were against House having. Even some human rights activists called us and said, no, this is not part of that. We will not join in bad governance if you don't remove Kano as part of the demand. As I said to them, you are free not to join, but this one that I'm fighting and part of, it has to holistically address all the issues that I believe will restore Nigeria's progress, peace, and prosperity. Because without peace, you can't have progress and you can't have prosperity. If that's what we all agreed on, this is one of the injustices that must be reversed.
Thank you very much.
So,
Thank you very, very much.
yes.
I before we let you go, there is somebody who has been on my case. He says if we don't bring them in, that will be uh, unjustifiable and other things that she's accusing me for. So I'm going to bring her in to just quickly make her comments, and then before
Correct the
we
king
get thrown
there.
into jail.
Correct the king there. The liar himself. The liar
Hey,
himself.
Mama, how far now?
After they must be king. I
How
am
far don't
proud
collect
of
bribe
you.
for not.
I am proud of you. You
Thank
don't do
you.
one thing for me. You don't tell them say fear. Now their weapon. And that weapon, we don't recognize them. I send a message when I hear say you they go and they publish you, say you are wanted. When the people when they supposed they for wanted list, now pabio them. Now I tell them say
Mm-hmm.
I sent the message through either Nigeria was or Dr. Dameji. I tell them say 2018, 2019, when I carry my pikin because he don't know say he get political godmother. We let una do what una do. But if una venture lock this my pikin, una go sabi say kaki no be leather. They be like say they hear the message. So I won't send them another message now. On the day of the next call, 24th of September, make una release Nnamdi Kanu. If una
24th of
not
September.
release her
All of
on
us
that
they,
day,
all of us
wait,
go there Abuja that day now.
see, DSS, federal government, if una not release Nnamdi Kanu that day, una know what that they call checkmate, last card, and then they play what? Me. And all the women when give birth to children, and all my children when stand for my back, we go play with it that they call last card. I promise you that. And now 1 month, me and my children go take planner. When we go execute that, now not go know. We not they carry gun.
No, not to expose this thing, not to expose this thing,
Wait,
not to expose
we
this.
know they enter streets.
Not to give away the secret
No,
now. You
I
know some
just
people
want
they
to let
complain,
them
say me
know.
I told they talk
So,
too much about the
no,
clans now.
I'm not they give the secret, they craze. I'm not they mad. I be mumu.
Not to expose the secret. Maybe just
So,
leave it like that.
so make una.
So that
Uh,
surprise will come.
And
uh,
the another wait, okay. And another reason when I want to beg una make una release and this. You see all those una soldier man want to put for there. It is needed in the north. Because you ASWAP talk say they go declare Islamist country for December and they mean that because we don't see their work. So if Tinubu, if they allow this sacrifice, they deceive you. Not listen to me. Then when I don't settle my pikin, Nnamdi Kanu Ofini, I'll give una 6 months. 6 months to complete it, to stop insecurity, and also to build better houses for all the villages when e be say they drive all my daddy, my uncle come out. Because when all the children when all my uncle and daddy when they for IDT camp, not be the way they belong. So we go give them 6 months. 6 months, if we are not doing, me and my children go come back
okay,
again.
Mama H2.
Another
Mama
checkmate.
H2. You see,
Yes,
Mama H2, you know what the thing be say, your when the current where you dey carry come, your current dey too high. So you don't dey see as just the they cut everybody,
No,
they jam the
you don't know what
system.
happened.
So
I use
I don't hold show right here. I don't know whether you hear me
No,
again. I don't know whether you hear me.
Dr. Chidi, you know,
Uh,
say, are they happy to see Mama Echo any day now? I they
see,
happy to.
Lucky.
I've been staying here until tomorrow. Maybe just dey listen to them, but me and you don't promise to.
Correct speaking, correct
Yeah,
speaking.
they just won't go chop a bar because I never chop since I come.
I bet just do your window, go put food. They just a hear from
Yes, so
Papa.
make Mama continue. More than they rap they go, but Mama, I want to assure you, say that 24th, all of us go there for court
Speaking.
for Nnamdi Kanu
I don't
for
need
Abuja.
about
They
two
must
people
release
phone
her.
number. I need two
Huh?
people phone number from your hand. You go see the name for backstage. I need them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you need Tinubu phone number, I will give you.
I bet give me all of them. And his wife, like me, I need all of them.
Honestly, if you call her, we go just say Bala,
No, see,
Blue,
you picking.
Bulapa.
Wait, picking. Before I dey vex for her. But when I want come back, Papa say I don't need to vex for any person. So now I call the beginning lost Tinubu. You know why? Tinubu, you are my sweetheart now. Remy, me and you they compete. You know why I love
Remy
her?
okay, okay.
Mama,
Yes.
Mama,
Mama,
Remy just launched one Akara today now.
I see her more. Maybe they go
Get
soon give
it.
me my own.
They go so you send you your own. Now the prison uniform for Nigerians where they take style lunch
okay.
with that. Everybody
So,
they go prison.
Pikin, all the phone number when you know say I need to work with from backyard, send
All
them.
right,
No
guys.
problem, Dr. Chidi. We'll talk, man. Thank you so much.
Mr.
Dr. Chidi.
Mr. President, I really want to
Yes.
thank you for coming on the show, for giving
Thank
us
you.
your time. I need to let you to go grab something to eat and rest, please. Rest,
Eba,
please. It's
Mama, don't mess with Eba. The only thing we still there for this country now.
You get
Na
my
Eba
number.
with soup.
You
We
get
no
my
get meat.
number. Make you reach out.
Vegetarian.
Make you reach out there for your information.
Yes.
My family there for Okitipupa.
Now I
So
so
your
be that.
way.
Now to go where I for go secondary school now.
Or your way for
Secondary school.
Esaodo. And there for Odiaye.
Odiaye.
So your way to Esaodo.
Now Odiaye where my babalawo dey.
Really? Correct speaking there. They said they shop wish.
Yeah,
They don't know say we don't chop and vomit. As we chop wish, we don't be
enter.
See.
I beg, my don't land, Dr. Chidi, make I go. Mama.
So,
all right. Thank you so
speaking.
much. Thank you very much. Mama Echo. Mama Echo. Thank you so much.
Wait, make I finish. When I go, they register for AAC. Now they hear AAC. All of them will be my picky. Hear me and hear me very well. AAC.
Maybe we finish with the protest. But when we finish with the protest first, protest 1st of October. Then after that, we'll go face politics because with the system we're there now, no election. If we organize any election, it'll go work. But Mama Echo, thank you so much. Thank you for wait.
Dr. Shiji, now you be the next governor of Enugu State. Begin to prepare. All of them.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Thank you. You always bring it real. Thank you for bringing the fire like always. Love you.
Love you too.
Take care, all right? Okay, bye-bye. All right, guys, that's Mama H.O. and our special guest, Sowore Sowore. I'll be with you guys another time, but let's get ready for Fearless in October. The protest is starting from 1st October until whenever, okay? So let's get ready. There's no way this government can make us be living with fear inside our own country. That is not possible. When you don't reach the time where you go to your house, you can't even you go the creep to enter kitchen, then to enter another bedroom, you go the sneak, then you go come outside your house, you go close door, then you're living like a slave. But in your father's house, you have to live fearlessly. And And if now we get Nigeria, we have to do everything that we want to do fearlessly, without any excuse from anybody, without any permission from anybody. We'll go just talk anything we want talk, demonstrate anytime we want demonstrate. That's the meaning of fearless in October. I'll see you guys another time. And from all of us in the Worship Media Studios of Toronto, Canada, on behalf of Dr. Erica, my name is Dr. Chidi, and I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Please take care of yourself, and those of you in Nigeria, please stay safe. Okay, bye bye.